What happens when you build the biggest city in Manor? Well, I think we might have broken a teeny little bit of the game.
That's the second. They're both stumbling a little bit out of that, but still triple with negative GOE for the end.
Strange things happen when you reach this kind of population. Well, I've created the largest town in Manor that you probably have ever seen to this point. But unfortunately, there are some little side effects to creating such a big village. Everybody ends up on ice skates, which is a bit unfortunate because it looks spectacular. But with so many NPCs walking around, things start to get a little bit funky. Everyone is just skating around. The chickens, the cows, everything, even the carts. Look at this guy. He's drifting around on the side. But I'm not sure if there's something I've done to cause this or if it's just what happens when you build such a big city. But what I thought we'd do is we'll just have a little bit of a walk around. It would honestly take hours to walk through this town. It is huge. It sits at around 5,000 for its population. Now, I can go much higher, but the trouble is the performance is incredibly bad. I had to play this in 1080p. I've kept all the graphics high just to keep it nice and looking sweet, but the frames are about anywhere from 20 to 30 FPS, which is pretty damn bad. It's really struggling. Now, I don't know if this will change if you split this all up into different areas, but when you try build one huge city, it really starts to eat your computer. Now, I've got a pretty crazy computer, so it should be handling this quite well. I'm not sure if these performance issues will be in the game when it goes live, but unfortunately, yeah, it's something I've experienced. Definitely a bit of a stress test because there's so many people. There's thousands upon thousands of people all doing things, and it's just an absolutely giant town. But what I'm hoping I can do is once this is fixed, I'll come back and walk through this whole town because it would be incredible having everyone moving naturally and just walking around doing their thing. It's pretty special. It's a really special game and it looks fantastic. So as you can see, there's some stuff going on here. Now, there could be something wrong in terms of I've got too much stuff in my stockpiles or my granary, but just look at all these people. It is bonkers. So unfortunately, the game keeps crashing, especially in those populated areas. So I can't really do a walk around just yet. Now, keep in mind, it takes me about 5 to 8 minutes to load in currently, just from the sheer size of the city. People trying to get to a 10,000 population limit. There's no way that's going to happen in one town. Maybe you can do it if it's spread across the whole map, which would be pretty easy to do, quite frankly, not too hard to do across many villages. But when you try clump it all together, it is going to kill your PC. But I'm sure all these performance things will be worked out. It's just a temporary issue. But just look at this. Doesn't this look stunning? It almost looks a little bit real, doesn't it? If we just sort of float around. Now, I can't go into the town too much in terms of actually walking through it because it's just going to crash, especially in the populated area. Since all the NPCs are kind of getting stuck in certain areas, you'll end up just crashing the computer when you get too close to them. But have a look at this. Absolutely stunning. But yeah, you can see it is quite a huge city. This is all just in one region, and I'm just rebuilding the manor up in the mountain. One thing I've been finding though is when you build your walls around your town, everything you click on clicks on the manor. I'm not sure if that's intentional. Let me know if you've had that same issue. Originally I was going to build the wall around the whole place, but I was having issues where if I clicked on something, it was selecting the manor because I've expanded its influence around the whole town. So yeah, it was a bit weird. Threw that in the bin and just going to rebuild it up here in the mountain overlooking the whole town. But it's definitely worthwhile. This game, you got to give it a try. A lot of fun, especially if you're into strategy, city builders. But if you are interested, I'll just quickly show you called HUD so you can get a look at where everything's up to. So boom, here we go. So the approval rating's been pretty much sitting at 100 until people started ice skating around because there was no issues. I've easily been able to maintain 100%. This is just on the default settings. So it wasn't anything crazy, but you can see here the population. So I'm pretty sure that's families. So 2,343 times 3 or 4. In some cases, I I think they have 3 or 4 in each family. So we're close or over 5,000. Getting much above this is easily achievable. You will be able to get 10,000 in one town. It's just going to be a performance thing. When they fix it, easily achievable. The biggest issue I've only ran into recently was my firewood, which we have no problem now. Now I do need to unallocate people to get some actual free builders, but I'm just filming this, so I'm actually not worried about managing it. But the town isn't like super well planned out, but there's just so much in it. There's so many houses, so many streets, so many little markets everywhere. Got 2 huge markets there. There's a couple more scattered around. Farm slash burgages that double up as farms pretty much, but it's absolutely sensational. Now, if you're wondering how I got so much regional wealth, it's just using the broken trading system, which will need to be reworked because it's kind of broken at the moment. And especially if you use the exploit of building your trade or your trading post right on the border. If you build it right on the border, the efficiencies are insane. The biggest hurdle in having a huge town is just going to be storing everything and keeping the goods moving, because at the moment that's one of the biggest difficulty is actually having enough storage to build to keep enough space to make enough food and enough firewood for everyone. But one thing that is really important to do is to, when you do build a large storage, is to actually go into your advanced, make sure only looking to store certain items, because if they all get full, then you won't be able to get more firewood or whatever you're after. So it's good to have some specifically allocated storage houses and granaries, at least in my experience. But yeah, that's kind of the town. It is giant. Definitely the biggest one I've seen so far, and definitely keen to see all the crazy builds people are going to be putting out, because it's just absolutely eye candy basically. And going down and being able to walk through, like we can try walk through some of these areas, but again, we may crash the game. But this is such a cool feature. Love that you can build your own city and then go walk around it. Gives it such good atmosphere, and you can just you could literally spend hours walking around this town, especially at this pace, because there's so many streets and it covers so much land. And it would be one big long video, but it would be freaking wild to do it. But you can see here it's not too bad, the performance. Now, keep in mind, I'm playing this at 1080 because at 1440p, it's just very, very difficult. But it's still, it's still definitely easily working. But yeah, this is kind of it. I just wanted to show you all the biggest town that I've ever created, and that's probably around right now. But you can see as we sort of pan across, there is no real strategy in terms of the layout. It was just sort of building things as I went along. But I did try to include areas with some trees, little bits of farms, some sheep in random places. But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some very well designed bases. This one is a bit of a shamble, but it is just the size of it is amazing. So many different little shops and areas. You can get completely lost in it. It'd take hours just to walk through it. Here we have some of the troops. They look freaking awesome. But the game is stunning. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with some footage of me panning around the town just so you can get a good idea of it. Unfortunately, we can't walk around too much right now. But I hope you got something out of this. I spent a lot of time getting this town to this size, so I appreciate any like soon to be broken, I'm sure. Getting a 10,000 across all regions, definitely achievable. Getting 10,000 in one town or in one area, definitely pretty intense right now. But the game's amazing. You're going to love it. I definitely recommend picking it up. And I'm going to leave you with some footage of the town and me panning around it just so you can get a better idea of the scale. And just because it looks freaking awesome, this game's graphics are amazing. Later on, I'll make another video where I can actually walk around once the performance fix. But anyway, if you got anything out of this, please consider liking and subscribing. If you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, definitely let me know. Really keen to see your builds. It'd be really nice if we could visit each other's towns or something like that. That would be gnarly. But what would be next level is actually having a PvP or a 1v1 or an actual team mode where we could build our bases and attack, and it'd be absolutely crazy. But that's it for me. Thanks very much for stopping by, and this is the closest we'll probably get to 10,000.